here, ready to fetch the key points. Welcome to Mastering the Art of Tourism, from human needs to professional excellence. Let's make this short and sweet. Tourism is often thought of as a collection of pretty pictures and passport stamps, but at its most fundamental level, it is a calculated, profit-driven business. It operates on a simple but powerful premise: the identification and fulfillment of specific human needs. While the traveler sees an adventure or a relaxation opportunity, the industry sees a marketplace where success is measured by how effectively a service satisfies a requirement. The primary goal of any tourism entity is to generate profit, and in this field, that profit is directly linked to the quality of the experience delivered. Because the product in tourism is often intangible, an experience rather than a physical object, the people delivering that service become the most critical part of the business model. This is where the role of the tour guide becomes essential. A professional guide is much more than a narrator of facts. They are the primary facilitators of the entire tourism experience. To be successful, a guide must focus on skill acquisition, developing a specific professional toolkit that allows them to manage and curate the local environment for the visitor. The core of a guide's responsibility is need fulfillment. This starts with identifying exactly what a traveler is looking for, which often goes beyond the surface level. A traveler might say they want to see a landmark, but their underlying need might be for a sense of awe, a connection to history, or even a feeling of status. By recognizing these deeper motivations, a guide can ensure those needs are not just met, but exceeded. This is the secret to creating great experiences. When a guide facilitates a truly exceptional moment, it transforms into a long-lasting positive memory. In the business of tourism, these memories are the ultimate currency. They are the engine of economic impact. A visitor who leaves with a powerful, positive memory is likely to become a repeat customer, and perhaps more importantly, an advocate for the destination. This word-of-mouth marketing drives long-term success for a nation's entire tourism industry. To understand what a business must provide, we have to look at why people travel in the first place. Most travelers are driven by a desire to discover something new. This discovery often centers on culture, where they seek to understand the traditions, social norms, and daily lives of people in a different part of the world. It centers on food, where culinary flavors offer a literal taste of a new environment. It also involves history, as people seek out heritage sites to connect with the past, and nature or geology, where the goal is to explore unique landscapes and natural formations. Finally, there is the need for entertainment, such as music and recreation, which provides the joy and relaxation that many travelers crave. By viewing these interests as specific human needs that must be professionally managed, we can begin to see tourism for what it truly is: a sophisticated business of human satisfaction. To understand the true power of tourism, we have to look at the person standing right at the center of the traveler's journey, the tour guide. While it is easy to think of a guide as someone who simply points out landmarks or recites historical dates, their role is actually far more complex and vital to the health of a nation's economy. A professional tour guide is a facilitator of experiences, a master of logistics, and ultimately a creator of lifelong memories. This multifaceted role requires a unique blend of expertise and intuition that goes far beyond basic hospitality. It starts with rigorous skill acquisition. A guide does not just wake up with the ability to manage a group of diverse people in a foreign environment. They must develop a deep toolkit of professional skills, ranging from local geographical expertise to the nuanced ability to manage group dynamics and safety. This expertise allows them to take the raw product of a destination, whether it is a rugged jungle trail or a historic city square, and turn it into a manageable, enjoyable, and educational experience for the guest. Without the guide's ability to navigate these local complexities, the traveler might feel lost or overwhelmed rather than inspired. At the core of this role is the ability to identify and fulfill specific human needs. As we have discussed, Tourism is a business built on fulfillment. Every traveler arrives with a set of expectations, some of which they might not even be able to articulate. The guide acts as a bridge between those travelers' desires and the destination's offerings. When a guide can anticipate that a traveler is seeking more than just a photo, perhaps a deeper connection to the local culture, or a moment of quiet reflection in nature, they move from being a simple service provider to being a curator of personal discovery.
The ripple effect of a guide's performance is massive. When a guide facilitates a truly great experience, they are building the foundation for long-lasting positive memories. In the world of tourism, these memories are the most valuable currency. Positive memories drive repeat business and generate the kind of word-of-mouth marketing that money cannot buy. A guest who leaves with a powerful story is far more likely to return or to recommend the destination to their friends and family back home. This creates a cycle of economic growth that supports the entire nation.
We must recognize that a tour guide often serves as the primary face of the country. For many visitors, the guide is the person they spend the most time with during their stay. This means the guide carries the responsibility of maintaining the national reputation. Their honesty, their depth of knowledge, and their passion directly influence how the world perceives the entire nation. By consistently delivering excellence and ensuring that every visitor feels their needs have been met, the tour guide becomes a key driver of national success, ensuring that the tourism industry remains a sustainable and profitable business for everyone involved.
When we ask ourselves why people choose to leave the comfort of their homes to visit far-flung locations, we find that the answer lies in the fundamental human desire to discover. This discovery isn't just about looking at a map, it's an immersive experience that touches on several key pillars of motivation: culture, history, nature, food, and entertainment. Understanding these motivations is vital for anyone in the tourism industry because it allows us to tailor the experience to the traveler's specific psychological and cognitive needs. Culture is often the strongest magnet for travelers. People are naturally curious about how others live, the traditions they uphold, and the social norms that define a community. When a tourist visits a new country, they are looking for more than just a souvenir. They are looking to understand the local way of life. This cultural exchange provides a sense of connection and satisfies the cognitive need for learning and comprehension. Whether it is witnessing a traditional ceremony or simply observing daily life in a bustling market, the cultural element makes the destination feel authentic and alive. Closely tied to culture is the motivation of culinary exploration. Food is a universal language, yet it is uniquely expressed in every corner of the globe. Many travelers prioritize local flavors and traditional cooking methods as a primary goal of their journey. Tasting a dish that has been prepared the same way for generations allows a traveler to literally consume the history and geography of a place. It turns a basic physiological need, eating, into a high-level aesthetic and cognitive experience. History and heritage also play a massive role in why we travel. There is a profound power in standing on the ground where significant historical events occurred, or touching the stones of ancient ruins. History provides context and a sense of scale to our own lives. For a tour guide, being able to narrate these stories with accuracy and passion is what transforms a simple site visit into a lasting memory that a traveler will carry with them forever. Nature and geology offer another powerful draw. Many travelers are motivated by the need for aesthetic beauty and a connection to the natural world. From the rugged formations of geological wonders to the serene landscapes of a jungle ecosystem, the environment itself is the attraction. This often satisfies the self-actualization and aesthetic needs we see in Maslow's hierarchy, as travelers find peace and spiritual fulfillment in the grandeur of the outdoors. Finally, entertainment and recreation round out the travel experience. Whether it's the rhythm of local music, the energy of traditional dancing, or the simple joy of recreational activities, entertainment provides the excitement and joy that makes a trip feel like a true escape. By combining these cultural, historical, and natural elements, we create a multidimensional product that satisfies the traveler's deep-seated urge to explore the world and understand their place within it.
To be a successful professional in this field, one must recognize that we are not just selling a seat on a bus or a room in a hotel, we are selling the fulfillment of these diverse human motivations.
In the tourism industry, you are more than just an employee. You are a living representative of your nation's culture and hospitality. Because tourism is a service-based business that relies entirely on visitor satisfaction, a single guide's performance has the power to shape or shatter a country's global reputation. This is why maintaining high standards of appearance, hygiene, and ethics is not just a suggestion, it is a foundational requirement of the profession. Think about the power of a first impression.
Long before you speak your first word of the day, your guests are already forming an opinion based on what they see. A professional appearance starts with the basics, wearing the proper attire, such as a clean, pressed company logo shirt that is tucked in with a belt. This level of neatness signals to the traveler that you are organized, disciplined, and ready to lead. Personal hygiene is equally critical. In the close quarters of a tour vehicle or during a long hike, your personal care affects the comfort and health of everyone around you.
However, professionalism extends beyond your person to the environment you provide for the traveler. Consider the standards required for a tour vehicle. It must be spotless and well-maintained, but there is a specific detail that is often overlooked: scent. While it might be tempting to use heavy colognes, perfumes, or strong air fresheners, a true professional avoids overwhelming smells. Many travelers suffer from respiratory allergies or sensitivities.
The moment of the greeting is your first opportunity to build a bridge of trust. A warm, genuine smile combined with a proper, clear introduction sets a positive tone for the entire journey. This leads directly into the realm of professional ethics. High ethical standards require absolute honesty and integrity. As a guide, you are the primary source of information for people who may have traveled thousands of miles to learn about your history, nature, and culture. Being well-educated and providing accurate, well-researched information is a moral obligation.
If you do not know an answer to a specific question, it is far more professional to admit it and offer to find the information than to provide a false or made-up fact. In today's digital age, these standards are more important than ever before. We live in a world where a poor experience doesn't just stay between the guide and the guest. It is recorded, uploaded, and shared globally through digital reviews. A lack of professionalism or a lapse in ethics can literally kill a business or deter future travelers from visiting a destination entirely.
By adhering to these strict standards of hygiene, appearance, and ethical conduct, you aren't just doing your job, you are protecting the economic future of your community and ensuring that the memories your guests take home are ones of excellence and respect.
To truly understand the complexities of the tourism industry, it helps to look at where things can go wrong. Let's examine a case study of a local entrepreneur who, despite having the ambition to enter the tourism market, ultimately failed because he lacked what we call the tourism approach. This story serves as a vital lesson in the 4 critical pillars of a successful venture: knowledge, infrastructure, marketing, and service. The first and perhaps most foundational mistake was a lack of knowledge.
This businessman entered the industry without a deep understanding of why or how tourism actually occurs. He did not study the core motivations of travelers or what specifically brings people to a certain area. In tourism, you are not just selling a physical space, you are selling an experience that fulfills a specific human need. Without understanding those needs, any business is essentially flying blind. To succeed, a professional requires a deep grasp of what inspires a traveler to leave their home and what they expect to find when they arrive at their destination.
Next, we look at the physical reality of the business, the infrastructure. The entrepreneur in our case study built guest rooms, but he neglected basic requirements like electricity and refrigeration. Imagine a traveler arriving after a long day of exploring, only to find they cannot charge their devices or keep their food and water cold. In the modern tourism landscape, well-equipped and comfortable accommodations are non-negotiable. Infrastructure is the physical foundation of the traveler's comfort. If the basic physiological needs of shelter and safety are not met through reliable utilities and quality facilities, the business will struggle to survive. The third pillar is marketing. Our entrepreneur's facility was neither visible nor appealing to travelers. It simply does not matter how much effort you put into your service if nobody knows you exist. Success in tourism requires strategic placement and effective marketing that speaks directly to the target audience. You have to be where the travelers are looking, whether that is through digital presence, physical signage, or professional networking.
Finally, we have the human element, service. When travelers had questions, this businessman was unable to provide the necessary information or assistance. This highlights the critical need for knowledgeable staff who are capable of assisting guests. Travelers rely on tourism professionals to be experts. Whether it is explaining local history or providing logistical help, the staff must be well-trained and prepared. This case study proves that tourism is a precise business, requiring a harmony between the physical environment and the intellectual understanding of the guest.
When knowledge, infrastructure, marketing, and service are not aligned, the result is a disconnect that even the most beautiful location cannot overcome.
Think of tourism as a product, much like a ticket to a major sporting event. When you go to a stadium, you are not just paying to see athletes compete, you are paying for the atmosphere, the anticipation, and the entire production surrounding the game. In the tourism industry, the journey itself is the product, and it unfolds through 4 distinct stages that every professional must master to ensure success. It begins with discovery. This is the spark of interest, the moment a potential traveler first learns about a destination.
Perhaps they see a stunning photograph of a reef in Belize, or hear a friend mention a hidden historical site. At this stage, the traveler is searching for inspiration, and the goal of the industry is to capture their imagination. Discovery is about awareness and putting a destination on the map in the mind of the consumer. Once the seed is planted, the journey moves into the decision-making phase. This is the analytical stage, where the traveler weighs their resources, specifically their time and money. They look at their bank account and their work schedule to see if the trip is feasible. During this phase, they are looking for value and justification. If the perceived benefit of the experience outweighs the cost and effort of getting there, the traveler moves from being interested to being committed. The third stage is preparation. This is the logistical heart of the journey, where the traveler begins booking flights, securing accommodations, and perhaps consulting with travel agents. They are looking for reliability and clear communication.
For a tourism business, this is the time to build trust. If a traveler finds it difficult to get answers or book services, their excitement can quickly turn into anxiety. Finally, we reach the experience itself. This is the actual realization of the trip, where the traveler finally steps off the plane and into the destination. This is where the service quality becomes everything. The experience can range from excellent to very poor, and it is here that the tour guide and local infrastructure play their most vital roles. However, in the modern world, the journey does not end when the traveler goes home. We must consider the immense power of digital reviews. Today, the internet serves as the most influential form of advertisement. A traveler's experience is shared globally through digital platforms, and these reviews have the power to either build a reputation or completely destroy a business. One poor experience shared online can deter hundreds of potential visitors in the discovery phase. Because travelers now rely so heavily on the feedback of others, maintaining high standards throughout every stage of the journey is the only way to ensure long-term survival in a digitally connected marketplace. To truly master the art of tourism, we have to look beyond the logistics of travel and explore the psychology of the traveler. A powerful tool for doing this is Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Maslow proposed that human motivations are arranged like the rungs of a ladder. As we satisfy the needs on the lower rungs, we unlock the ability to focus on higher-level fulfillment and personal contentment. In the context of tourism, understanding this hierarchy allows professionals to create experiences that don't just entertain, but deeply satisfy the guest on a fundamental level.
At the very base of this ladder are physiological needs.
These are the basic requirements for biological survival, including food, water, shelter, and clothing. When a person is traveling, they are away from their usual support systems, which makes these needs even more prominent. In the tourism industry, we address these requirements through the core services we provide. A hotel is not just a building. It is the fulfillment of a traveler's need for shelter and rest. A restaurant is the primary source of their nourishment.
For a tour guide, this means ensuring that a long day of exploring includes adequate stops for water and snacks. If a guest is hungry, thirsty, or exhausted, they will be unable to enjoy the beauty of a historical site or the excitement of a local festival because their body is signaling that its basic survival needs are not being met. Once those physiological needs are stable, the traveler moves up to the second rung, safety needs. This involves the desire for security and protection from risk. Travelers are often in unfamiliar environments, which can naturally trigger a sense of vulnerability.
To satisfy this need, tourism businesses must demonstrate a commitment to safety in every interaction. This includes physical security, such as hotels employing professional guards, but it also extends to health and operational safety. A restaurant that proudly displays its food handler certificates reassures guests that their meal is prepared safely. Similarly, a professional tour guide ensures that vehicles are well maintained and that all equipment is regularly serviced. When a guest feels safe and protected from crime or accidental harm, they can relax and fully engage with the destination.
The third level of the hierarchy is belongingness and love needs. Humans are social creatures who seek connection and acceptance within a group. Many people travel specifically to fulfill this need, whether they are journeying with a family unit, a church group, or an educational cohort. However, the tourism professional plays a crucial role here as well. Through genuine hospitality, we can make a guest feel like they are a welcomed part of the community, rather than just a stranger passing through. By creating a warm, inclusive atmosphere, you help bridge the gap between the traveler and the local culture.
When we meet these foundational requirements, physiological comfort, physical safety, and a sense of belonging, we build the essential platform that allows travelers to eventually reach for higher psychological and spiritual goals during their journey.
To truly master the art of tourism, we must look past the basic requirements of food and shelter and focus on the psychological motivations that separate a standard trip from a truly transformative one. This brings us to the higher rungs of Maslow's ladder, starting with the need for esteem. In the world of hospitality, esteem is often met through personalized service and the recognition of what we call special needs. It is important to remember that in this professional context, special needs do not just refer to physical accessibility or medical requirements.
Instead, it is about recognizing each guest as a unique individual with specific passions and preferences. Imagine you are guiding a group through a historical site. One guest might be obsessed with ancient architecture, while another is an avid birdwatcher. If you provide a generic, one-size-fits-all tour, you are failing to meet their esteem needs. However, by tailoring your information, perhaps pointing out a rare species in the canopy for the enthusiast, or diving deep into the structural engineering of a ruin for the amateur historian, you make that guest feel seen and valued.
You are validating their personal interests, which makes them feel important and respected. This level of personalized attention is exactly what builds a powerful professional reputation and drives positive digital reviews. Once a traveler feels valued as an individual, their curiosity naturally expands. This leads us to cognitive needs, which represent the deep-seated human desire for knowledge, comprehension, and exploration. Travelers today are often looking for more than just a photograph. They want to understand the soul of a destination.
They do not just want to see a jungle, they want to understand the intricate balance of the ecosystem. They do not just want to look at a monument, they want to know the why behind its creation and the stories of the people who lived there. For a tour guide, this means your knowledge must be both vast and accurate. You are not just a facilitator, you are a bridge to a new world of understanding. When you provide insightful, well-read, and researched information, you are directly feeding the traveler's mind and satisfying their hunger for discovery.
Beyond the intellectual, we must also consider aesthetic needs. Humans have an innate appreciation for beauty, order, and harmony. In the tourism industry, this translates to the quality of the environment you provide. Whether it is a luxury hotel with a breathtaking view, a clean and well-maintained vehicle, or a restaurant with a perfectly balanced interior, the aesthetic environment significantly impacts the traveler's psychological state. A cluttered, dirty, or chaotic space can create subconscious stress, whereas a beautiful and private setting fosters a sense of peace and contentment.
By combining personalized service that boosts esteem, deep knowledge that satisfies cognitive curiosity, and beautiful environments that meet aesthetic desires, you create a holistic experience that resonates on a profound level, ensuring that every traveler leaves with a lasting sense of fulfillment.
To understand the tourism industry at a professional level, we must be able to distinguish between the two primary drivers of human movement, obligatory and non-obligatory travel. This distinction is not just academic. It dictates how we market destinations, how we price services, and how we interact with our guests. Let's start with obligatory travel. This category describes movement that is essentially mandatory, driven by necessity, professional duty, or significant life circumstances. When someone travels for obligatory reasons, they often have very little choice in the matter.
One of the most common examples is medical travel. Whether it is a scheduled surgery or an unexpected health emergency, the traveler is moving to access care. Their primary concern is not the view from a hotel window, but the quality and proximity of the medical facility. Similarly, travel for family affairs falls into this category. This includes attending funerals or traveling to care for an ill relative. These are duties that require presence, regardless of the traveler's personal desire for a vacation.
Education and business also drive massive amounts of obligatory travel. A student attending a specialized university course or a professional attending a mandatory conference are traveling because their career or education demands it. We even see this in roles where travel is the job itself, such as pilots, ship captains, and flight crews. They are constantly in motion, but they are not there for leisure. They are fulfilling a professional requirement. For tourism providers, the key to serving obligatory travelers is providing efficiency, reliability, and convenience. These travelers want to get their tasks done with as little friction as possible. On the other hand, we have non-obligatory travel, which is also called discretionary travel. This is the realm of true tourism, where the traveler chooses to move for pleasure, interest, or self-improvement. Because this travel is a choice, it is highly sensitive to things like price, safety, and reputation. Vacations and holidays are the most obvious examples. Here, the traveler is seeking relaxation and an escape from their daily routine.
Beyond simple relaxation, non-obligatory travel is often fueled by special interests. This includes people who travel specifically to explore archaeology, visit world-renowned museums, or engage in cultural discovery. It also covers sports tourism, where fans follow their favorite teams across borders, and shopping tourism, where the primary goal is retail and consumerism. Special events like music festivals or international celebrations also pull in large numbers of discretionary travelers. However, because these trips are not mandatory, the traveler can easily decide to stay home if the destination seems too expensive or inconvenient.
As professionals, we must study these varying motivations. If a guest is there because they want to be, they are seeking an experience that justifies their investment. They are looking for the fulfillment of aesthetic and cognitive needs. By recognizing whether a guest's journey is a professional necessity or a personal dream, we can tailor our service to meet their specific expectations, ensuring we provide value regardless of what brought them to our destination. As we reach the conclusion of this foundational look at the tourism industry, it is essential to reflect on the core theme that ties everything together, the complex web of human motivations that drive people to move from one place to another. we have seen that tourism is far more than just a series of logistics or beautiful landscapes. It is a professional, profit-driven business that succeeds only when it masterfully identifies and fulfills specific human needs. By looking back at the categories of travel we have explored, we can better understand the diverse landscape we are preparing to navigate as professionals. Remember that travel generally falls into two distinct buckets: obligatory and non-obligatory. Obligatory travel is driven by necessity, whether it is a pilot or ship captain performing their professional duties, a student traveling for education, or an individual seeking urgent medical care. These travelers have a specific requirement that must be met, and their needs often center on efficiency and reliability. On the other hand, non-obligatory travel represents the vast discretionary market, where choice is the primary factor.
These are the vacationers, the sports fans, the shoppers, and the culture seekers who could easily choose to stay home. For these travelers, the industry must work harder to provide an experience that justifies the expenditure of their time and resources. To truly master this art, we must remain grounded in the psychological principles of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. We have discussed how every successful tourism product must first address the foundational levels, such as physiological, safety, and physical security.
A guest cannot appreciate a beautiful sunset or a historical monument if they are hungry, thirsty, or feel unsafe. Once those basics are secured, our role as tourism professionals shifts toward the higher rungs of the ladder. We are tasked with fostering a sense of belonging, providing cognitive stimulation through deep historical and ecological knowledge, and creating the aesthetic environments that guests crave. When we do this correctly, we facilitate self-actualization, allowing travelers to find profound meaning and spiritual fulfillment in their journeys.
Looking ahead, we are moving from these psychological and motivational foundations into the specific business mechanics of the industry. Understanding why people travel is the prerequisite for learning how to manage the business side effectively. In our upcoming lessons, we will focus on the economic structures, marketing strategies, and operational excellence required to turn these human needs into a sustainable and profitable enterprise. We will examine how to translate the tourism approach into successful business models that avoid the pitfalls of our failed entrepreneur case study.
By maintaining professional standards, upholding ethical practices, and staying attuned to the power of digital reviews, you will be prepared to drive national economic impact. Secure your foundational knowledge now, because the business of tourism is built on the memories we create and the human needs we satisfy every single day.